2 minutes till colder.
Just as we wait for the show, gives me a chance to eat some grapes and do a little pondering. I'm pondering, what is the secret of grape growing? Now, I'm not talking about the secret of growing a great beard, a great grey beard, because I've obviously got that covered. I'm talking about the secret of growing great food, great crops. And I think that whether it's in the garden, on the farm, or in the vineyard, the secret of growing great crops is a lot like the secret of great comedy. It's all about timing. You see, there's a time to plant or sow, there's a time to trim or prune, and there's a time to pick or harvest. And when it comes to grapes, here in Marlborough, the time to harvest is now. Harvest time. Very exciting time. People come from all around the world to help with harvest, which is appropriate because the grapes that they pick will be turned into wine, which will be sent to people in countries all around the world to help them relax and unwind after a hard day, to help them enjoy cheese and crackers a little bit more, to help them celebrate with family and friends, or just to help them get pissed. Either way, harvest is a really exciting time. And speaking of time, and I'm not talking about the Pink Floyd classic from Dark Side of the Moon, I'm also not talking about this thyme plant that I grew from a seed. When I talk about time, I think it's time for me to say welcome to the People's Garden. And welcome to Monday Morning Live, where we will spread as much love and give out as many flowers as possible with Monday morning shout-outs. Shout out to Renee. We'll do live gardening. We'll take a look back at the week that was and a look ahead at the week to come. I'll even have a joke of the week. All those things and many more are coming up right here, right now, on Monday Morning Live, where, sadly, we need to start off by cleansing our sporting palate after another disappointing week of sports results. The Black Caps lost again, the Crusaders lost again, the Knights lost again. I was even gutted that the Warriors lost again, and I'm not even that big a fan. Until the end of the season when the playoffs come, and I unashamedly jump on the bandwagon. Disappointing week for sporting results, but a fantastic week at the Marlborough Farmers Market. See, last week was National Farmers Market Week, and Marlborough Farmers Market we celebrated in style. I wore a suit, a shirt and a tie. I strutted around looking resplendent. It felt good to suit up again. I used to wear a suit to work every day. These days it's only for special occasions or sombre affairs. So great to suit up. We had some great spot prizes. We gave away a $200 voucher. It's funny because we gave away free raffle tickets to people through the morning. We tell them the draw's at 11:30, stick around for the draw. Just before 11:30, sort of 20 past, we went out, we gave out as many tickets as we could. When it was time for the draw, there was probably about 400 people in the AMP showgrounds, all converged around the stage where the busker performs. He had a microphone. Lynn, the market manager, she did a wee speech. I was there in my suit, looking resplendent. And I've got to say, it felt good. 400 people, all looking this way. It felt good to be, it felt good to be the centre of attention. Something that I'm not used to. Anyway, funny story. When we did the draw, the guy who... So what happens? You know how these raffles work, right? You draw out a number. It's like a... the ticket is like a number and a letter and a colour. You draw it out, and there's often a moment there where you're like, is the person here? Have they left early? Do we have to draw again? And you never know how much time to actually wait. There's always someone who'll go, he's not here, draw again, after like 2 seconds. But we were just about to draw again, and the guy came up, so it's like, great, he's here. And everyone's like, like the Oscars when you get those squares and the people who don't win, their first instinct is like, and then they remember, they're like, happy for the person who won. Well, Well, that's what it was like for this guy. His name was Rob, and he got himself $200 worth of farmers market vouchers. So a great day yesterday at the Marlborough Farmers Market. It was a great week at the farm. Obviously busy times, really busy on the farm. The kids had a great week at school. They go pretty good at school. They've got a pretty good school. They've got some pretty good teachers. Actually, that reminds me, speaking of teachers, have you heard the one about the cross-eyed school teacher? She had no control over her pupils. Boom, boom! There it is. Thinly veiled, poorly set up. That's this week's joke of the week. Proudly brought to you this week by Basil. And I'm not talking about this basil plant that I also grew from a seed. I'm talking about this Basil. Basil Brush, our special guest and contributor of this week's joke of the week. Thanks for joining us, Basil. I can't believe you said that. Oh, Basil. Some things never change. Now, I'm going to get Basil propped up here. He can just sit here next to the thyme and the basil. And Bray, who's always with us. Now, talking about basil, I think it's about time to do some live gardening. Today, we're going to be sowing basil seeds. Now, these seeds are special. These basil seeds were harvested from a plant that was grown from seeds that were harvested from a plant that was grown from seeds. Yeah, so very special. And what we're going to do is we're going to sow these into these Jiffy pellets. Now the Jiffy pellets, as we know, I haven't got one here. I haven't got one here that's not puffed up. Here it is, all puffed up. They come as a little disc. You add water and they swell up like this, and then it's time to either push your seed in if it's a larger seed or sprinkle it on top. Now, basil, actually, the seeds need to be able to see a little bit of light. So that's why I'm going to just very lightly sprinkle the seeds over the top of these Jiffy pellets, which, as you can see, I've placed in the Bennytron 6100 series seed germinator thing, otherwise known as a Tupperware container. And what we're going to do is we're just going to give those a light spritz with the Bennytron 6100 spritzer, available now in the gift shop. Why not buy two? Just going to spritz them like this. Fascinating television. And they're good to go. Time seeds.
Basil.
Sowing right here on Monday Morning Live. Now we've done the week that was. Let's take a look at the week ahead. It's going to be a great week on the farm. Another busy week, I'm sure. It's going to be a great week at the Marlborough Farmers Market. It always is. Might do a little bit of filming later on today or possibly tomorrow for my YouTube channel, which is Grow with Bennies. I'm Benny Ward. Subscribe if you're on board. What else is going to happen? A bit of malarkey. A bit of chaos. Celebrity birthdays. This week, it's a very happy birthday to this guy, Mark Calloway, The Undertaker, one of my favourite wrestlers of all time. Actually, just going back, we're bouncing around a bit today. Who else has jumped on? Is it Mum? Monday morning shout out to Mum. This is the Jiffy pellet before it puffs up. See how it's all small and thin? Puffs up to about 4 or 5 times its height. And that's what we used for our live gardening. I knew I had one of those pellets somewhere. Anyway, getting back on track. Celebrity birthdays this week. It's a happy heavenly birthday to this guy, George Harrison. Now, just incidentally, he has to be one of the most underrated songwriters of all time. Now, that might sound weird because he was part of probably the most successful band that's ever been and ever will exist. But George Harrison, when you look through his track listings, he's written so many classic bangers. Very underrated, great guy. He's the guy who taught us that all things must pass, including our time together this morning. I'm Benny Ward. You can see me anytime you want on my YouTube channel, which is Grow with Bennies. You can see me live and in person every Sunday morning at the Marlborough Farmers Market. 9 until 12 at the AMP Showgrounds here in Waido Blenheim. You can see me every Monday morning right here on Monday Morning Live, and I'll see you next time in the garden.